All right, guys. Ooh, wow, that was a terrible segue. Welcome, guys. My voice just went out. Welcome, everybody, to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are certainly most welcome here. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan. Of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on how your screen's flipped. What do you got for us today, sir?
Giant-sized man-thing joke here, Joe Tonello.
And together we are the Give It Podcast. Before we get started, guys, much like the WWE, we are definitely speaking our language. So therefore, words will fly. And of course, the trailers, things that we're showing may be too intense for younger viewers. So viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So where do we start with this week? Well, Nintendo finally gave us a view of the Super Mario movie that's going to star Chris Pratt and Jack Black, just name a few people. I have yet myself to have seen this. Joe has seen this. So I guess this is going to be an interesting trailer. Check it out.
Then, thank you all for waiting. Let's press the start button.
Behold, the King of the Koopas!
Open the gates! That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield? I do not. I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
Okay, so that, guys, was the Super Mario Brothers movie. My first time looking at it. How can I put this in so many ways?
I can do it.
Go for it, Joe.
There's for those of us that would like Captain Lou Albano to come back, I keep having to remind you, he's 89 years old and he's dead.
Ooh, there's gonna be some people that's gonna be scratching their heads on that one. Everybody else at our age is gonna be like, understand. Understand. First impressions, I like the fact it looks good. We didn't really get a lot of Chris Pratt's voice, I guess, because a lot of people were wondering, could he really pull off Mario? How is it gonna sound? It didn't really give us a lot in the trailer to go off of. I think Jack Black is playing Bowser, right?
Yes, and he has said already at New York Comic Con, Bowser does have a musical sequence.
I'm not wrong on that. You know what? Because Jack Black is musically talented, I'm not mad about that at all. So I would definitely be looking forward to that. So, but I mean, for me, I'm going to need a little bit more. I'm gonna need I'm gonna need a little bit more before I could sit there and just jump on this. That's just me. I think so. But what do you think, Joe?
Well, if you pay very, very close attention, I mean, you have to be really listening. Chris Pratt, aside from just using his normal voice,
Mm-hmm.
has a very, very, very faint Brooklyn accent to it. It's very hard to hear. Like, you really have to listen.
See, that's just the thing. That's what I'm kind of worried about. Because it's like you would think this is the first inclination that we're going to see a Mario. A Mario
Oh,
movie
wait,
has.
you didn't play all the trailer.
Oh, there was still more than that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me go back. My bad. Let me go back. I thought that was the end of it. Because it's like once it gave the title. Okay. But as I'm pulling it back up, though, it's just. How can I put this over
Keegan Michael
somebody?
Key's doing a killer job as Toad.
Does Toad actually talk?
Well, that was Toad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, because that was Toad?
That was Toad. So Key
Or
from Key and Peele is doing a good job as Toad.
let me see. Hang on. Let's go back for a second. Hang on. Give me a second. Cause I'm just curious as far as because don't get me wrong, visually it's great. It's just I just feel like it wasn't enough.
Well, I mean, he's going to go to other Bowser's going to other kingdoms because we know Seth Rogen is. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, we had the Luigi part.
Oh, that part didn't. Oh, it showed that part.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was something else to it, but no. I mean, I'm not trying to be critical just because that's the first trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The last Mario Brothers was that horrible movie that we don't want to talk about. The horror, even though I have to give it to John Leguizamo and what was he, Dennis Haysbert, if memory serves me right, who played Mario. I can't think of his name to save my life right
John
now.
Hopkins?
There we go, Hopkins. That's the name I'm looking for. The same guy who played in Roger Rabbit. That's the guy's name I was trying to find. But since then, I don't think there's. I mean, there hasn't been an attempt at a movie since then. So
There's been an animated one, but it's not very good either.
Yeah. So I mean, but let's also be honest. Video game adaptations don't really have a good track record when it comes to movies. So I'm gonna wait. I know they're gonna release more as it comes out, but it's just that first. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Well, like I said, we have other characters. So we have another character that's from another NES game Mario appeared in, who's the foreman for the place Mario works at, who's also voiced by somebody. I don't remember who.
Okay.
We do know that Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong are going to be in this because Seth Rogen's playing Donkey Kong and someone else is playing Cranky Kong.
Okay.
I did like the fact that the first kingdom we see fall is the penguins we always toss off in Super Mario 64.
That was petty. Feel off fury, snowballs. I was like, that was petty. that was super petty. The penguin.
Do you yield? I do not.
Say what?
So I just like this. Like, do you yield? I do not.
Do not.
Yeah, here we go. King Michael Key. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Armidson's going to be Cranky Kong. Kevin Michael Richardson is going to be Comic. And Sebastian Maniscalco is Foreman Spike, construction worker who appeared in NES Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
And Charles Martinet will also be voicing other who voiced Mario will be voicing other characters.
Gotcha.
I think that means he's going to be doing like maybe incidental sounds and whatnot. Oh, and Anya Taylor-Joy is going to be Princess Peach. So
that's going to be interesting. Well, we'll come to find out come April 7th of next year. So
I have Anya Taylor-Joy permanently in my head as Magic, from New Mutants. So all I can sit there is like the moment Bowser locks her up, giant soul sword.
Just why? Oh, just why? But that's not
Or
the
what
only.
would be for Princess Peach, a giant soul parasol.
Nope. I can't. I'm not gonna
Or
get
the
that out of my
frying
head.
pan from Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that out of my head. But for
Soul
all
Pan.
you lucky people that are at New York Comic Con right now, who are getting to see a lot more than what we are, Joe did turn me on to this, and well, like most things, I don't get the hate. But let me just play the Velma trailer first, and then we can go from there as we discovered that Star Wars is not the only place where you can find toxic fandom. But here's the newest trailer for HBO Max's new series, Velma.
They just learned you intend to make a genre-bending comedic origin story of Judy Jetson. When I heard this new version of Judy Jetson wouldn't be boy crazy, the only word I had to describe my disgust is jinkies. If there is one thing the internet agrees on, it's that you should never change anything ever. I hope you die. Sincerely, Velma. Well, at least Judy's still white. Unknown caller. Spooky. Hello? Velma Dinkley speaking.
Hello, Velma. Do you like solving mysteries?
Yeah, but I'm actually much more three-dimensional than that. Who is this?
That's the mystery. And solve it quick, because I'm in your house.
A serial killer calling from inside my house? Yes, that's a classic, and that's my point. Why change anything when the classics all still work, right? Wait, you're inside my house!
I'm not mad about that. But Joe, there's another reason why we're bringing up Velma as I get the picture. But as I get the picture up on my side, but would you like to tell the folks why we're kind of focusing on this right now, just because of some disagreements and grievances about the cast of the show?
Well, it's kind of interesting because where you looked, there was nothing but stuff like that. Where I looked, everybody was just confused that Shaggy's real name was Norville.
Yeah, I went to Twitter. I go.
Why do you do that to yourself? You know what happens when you go to Twitter.
You go to the dark places. You have to go to the dark places to see the real honesty. But here's the picture that again is circulating right now that a lot of people are confused about. So as you can see right there, guys, of course, Mindy Kaling, if you don't know, The Office and 40-Year-Old Virgin and various movies and television shows, very talented actress and comedian, is definitely playing Velma. Of course, you see Fred, you see Daphne, and if you're wondering about the black man that immediately you think is Shaggy, you see a name called Norval. Now, as Joe has pointed out so eloquently, I went on Twitter to see what everybody thought of it, and everybody lost their collective fracking minds. Whereas Joe went to other social media, and actually, consequently enough, you can see right there, Joe pretty much tells people Shaggy's actual name is Norville Rogers. So Joe is fighting a good fight in social.
Oh yeah, I put this over on Urban Anime Lounge. It's got over 200 likes, and like I said, people were not upset. Like they're of course like the guys like, so why the crackhead got to be the black guy? But the majority of the posts were all, who the hell's Norville? And then me or other people were just like, it's Shaggy. That's what his name is. It was
real
first
name.
in I want to say a pup named Scooby Doo, but I might be wrong about that.
Yes, a pup named Scooby Doo is where you found out Shaggy's actual name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when people also find out that Scooby's real name is Scoobert Doo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other thing we brought up, it's like, well, why couldn't Fred be right? And I just point out because then he would be Carlton, but with traps.
Pretty much. I agree with that. If you made Fred Black, he's basically Carlton. Now, I can't argue with that. That's it. That's literally him, just without the dance. Just like
So the odd
Carlton is the
thing,
most
the
recent
thing we're all
out.
liking about this is that Fred's the only white dude. Daphne is now Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Thelma is Indian because of Mandy Keeling.
Right.
Potentially also a lesbian. I don't know what bearing that has on race, but okay. Shaggy is black. We have no idea what Scooby is, or if there even is going to be a Scooby.
I think there's going to be a Scooby.
See, I don't think there's going to. I think there'll be a Scooby for a episode, but I think this is going to be dealing more with just straight Velma, and then they'll come in and out as needed. I don't see this as a murder mystery gang scenario. I see this like as adventures of a character.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, a lot of the Scooby Doo iterations, very few times actually over the course of the years have all of them been together.
That is true. I think they're going to go because this is the part where me and you were talking about that I think HBO Max is going to do. Because I had to explain this to other people. I see HBO Max taking more risks, making more things, making more of the shows that we like more adult. And I like the fact that they're taking that risk. Everybody's wanting Marvel to do the same. And I'm like, give Marvel some time. You have to transition from blue sky storytelling to adult storytelling. And you just can't do that overnight because Disney still wants the kid money. I mean, adult. There is room to make money in adult comic book hero storytelling, but again, it will come along. But no, I dig it. I dig the fact that it's a different. It's not really a Scooby Doo, but at the same time, it's focused around Velma, and the fact that Mindy Kaling's doing it, I know it's going to be funny. But that's just me. But I did want to ask you, Joe, just because this is new and fresh, and me and you both just got through watching it, just to switch gears for a second before we go into some other trailers. Werewolf by Night just became available on Disney Plus. I think it was it today or day before yesterday it was available?
I want to say
Thursday.
I
want to say Thursday. Well, let's just say if we're wrong, we'll correct it. But let's just say within the last 48 hours, Werewolf by Night came out. Again, a classic Marvel tale. It's actually the first time, for all those who follow the MCU, it's the first time Moon Knight was introduced to the MCU. They decided to remake the classic story for Disney Plus. It's available to watch right now. Not to go into the details of it, but to give my impression, I'll let Joe go first because I want to hear what we talked about it, but I want him to go first as far as his review of it.
It is a wonderful homage to the old school monster flick Universal used to put out back in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's down almost the lighting, the scenes, and I will say this. We'll say this. Man Thing stole the show for me. That's just me. He stole the show. So that's I mean, if you've seen Werewolf by Night, you know who Man Thing is. So that's not a spoiler, by the way. But no, it was very, very, very well done. It's one of those things where you can literally watch on Halloween. I mean, we're already in October. It might as well be set up for Halloween. So me and Joe both liked it. Recommend you should watch it just because.
I was going to say maybe kids shouldn't watch it. This actually is not super gory, but we do have.
There is some decapitation. There is
stuff.
Well, yeah, I guess. Okay, kids 10 and under probably shouldn't watch it.
No.
I'll say that. I will say kids 10 and under probably shouldn't watch Werewolf by Night. If your 9-year-old is laughing at some of this, be concerned. Be very concerned. If your 9-year-old's laughing at Werewolf by Night, be very concerned. Be very, very concerned.
I mean, I would laugh at Ted, but that's just me.
But still, I mean, you 9 and 8 years old laughing at Werewolf by Night.
There's some things that actually did surprise me about this. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was going to sit there and say, no, think about it. I got two 9-year-olds nephews that laughed at Five Nights at Freddy's. So, I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
The thing that surprised me is what this is a story actually of. Like, we knew about Werewolf by Night, so we knew about Jack Russell.
Yeah.
Man Thing is everywhere on this promotional stuff. I didn't realize who the story was actually about.
That was interesting. I thought they would kind of go one or two routes. I'm not mad about the route they went with that.
I also kind of don't agree with that actress as the main character, but that's because the comic book definition is a little bit more different. But again, this is, I don't know when this is set. So, like, they really made it seem like this could be in the, like, late 80s, early 70s. But then we got, like, sushi bars being discussed and other things. So, like, I just don't know when this is set. I do know that.
Well, no, sushi could have been a thing late 80s, early 90s. So
yeah, but that's a rich person's things at that point.
True.
It's not like they had a sushi train where everybody just goes and crams as much food as they can for $14.99.
I would guess mid 90s. Mid 90s would be my guess.
Maybe. Like I said, this is like kind of weird. We do know that for those of us in the comic world, Man-Thing is the guardian of the nexus of the multiverse that's located in the Floridian swamps.
Yep.
So that could have much wider reaching implications, especially considering we're in the multiverse era right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see at least Ted come back for future things. Also, keep in mind, Man-Thing is also considered a Thunderbolt.
Yep.
As he is a Thunderbolt operative and their primary mode of transportation during the Luke Cage, the original Luke Cage era, where he ran the Thunderbolts out of the prison.
Yeah.
So
there's always that. I don't know. It'll be interesting either way. But Werewolf by Night was definitely good.
I would be surprised if the Thunderbolts thing was to go find Man-Thing.
That's gonna be interesting. I still say that when the more we get close to that Thunderbolts release, the more there's so many theories about it right now. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Very simple. But all we got to do is wait for this to be DMCA'd, and we know we're on target.
You ain't wrong though. But also another game that Joe has brought up is another trailer, Need for Speed Unbound. I haven't seen it. So
this got leaked, and people got EA got so mad that they had to put this out early. But this game also drops like December 20th, so I don't know when they were gonna do a formal announcement other than, oh hey, it's the Game Awards shadow drop.
Yeah, I mean the Game Awards is what, just a month from now?
Month or two.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually it's November, but anyway, since it got leaked, your EA's ticked off loss. Your game, Need for Speed Unbound.
Yeah, you ready to do this? Let's do it. Let's do it. They say it pays the cost to be the boss. Time to show them who's in charge.
Praise the Lord for my eyes, ain't cash with his beat. I thank the Lord for my bet that I smash every week. I put it all in the guts and now go fast asleep.
Since she been on me for months and left my message on scene. I put it to you like this. You dust me in this, I let you have that.
Open that mosh pit up.
I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that at all. I kind of dig it. I love it.
Anime.
I love it. I do love the look of it. I love the look of it. I ain't really, I'm not too keen about ASAP Rocky, but hey,
Oh, that's how you say his name is?
Yeah. I'm not too keen about ASAP Rocky, but at the same time, I'm like, I love the look. I love the fact that it's the anime cell shading. I like the fact that they're getting back to the roots of it. Not sure about what the story's gonna be, but it gives me, for it to be Need for Speed, I get Burnout vibes. And I love Burnout. Burnout is still one of my favorite all-time racing games. So December 2nd of this year, I can only imagine that EA would have to do an announcement either before Halloween, I would think, for it to be in time for the Christmas holiday. But no, I get it. The whole idea of just they're doing a lot of emphasis. Well, Need for Speed's always been about custom cars, custom rims. Our other friend of ours, Vaughn, who is a fan of the Midnight Club and will always carry the flag for the Midnight Club to be remade again. I'm sorry, Vaughn, that's just simply not going to happen. But he is definitely a fan of the customization. But I think that looks pretty cool. I would probably give it a shot once it comes out. But what do you think, Joe?
I mean, to me, still the greatest one is still Need for Speed Underground 1. I'm not too keen on driving all around the city. I just want to go hop from race to race and progressively upgrade my car to be better. Need for Speed Heat is fine. I'm playing that right now on the PS4. Thank God for Game Pass. This one looks okay. I mean, I'm down with it. I like the art style. It seems interesting. I think your whole thing is to get in the Elite Four of the Need for Speed world in this game, which
seems like it.
I think kind of copies a couple of the other storylines.
Yeah, it does kind of copy Underground, Hot Pursuit, Most Wanted, and Carbon, if memory serves me right.
Well, I mean, if it works for Pokemon, it works for Need for Speed. The only difference is you don't have to get gym badges. You got to get parts.
Well, don't get me wrong. The story of just climbing up from the bottom to the top has always been outside of Need for Speed, The Run, and Payback. Those were
really bad.
Payback was just riddled with issues. It was riddled with issues, not just story, gameplay, mechanics, all the above. It was a rush game, but I did like The Run just because it was different. It was a different Need for Speed story. My favorite is still gonna be Most Wanted. Most Wanted to me was the most complete Need for Speed story and gameplay. But this new Need for Speed, I'm gonna give it a shot. But again, that comes out December 2nd this year. For all those who are wondering, probably the Video Game Awards, which we need to check on because I'm almost certain it's in November. We'll probably have more information on that. But I have to give this to Joe as well because Joe has found the Battle Hub intro for Street Fighter 6, which the beta is available now if you do have next gen. So if you have a PS5 or Xbox Series X, you lucky people.
Video Game Awards is December 8th.
Okay, December. You lucky people with next gens who are playing the beta version of Street Fighter 6. You lucky people. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep myself from cuss folks out. Joe brought up the Battle Hub intro for Street Fighter 6. And before I play it, Joe, how do you describe this? You had a perfect analogy before we started, and I was like, son of a, he was right.
Let me just get a clip for you. It'd just be more appropriate.
You just have to bring the clip up. I kid you not. When Joe's looking for it, and if it's exactly what I think it is, I am not going to be surprised. I'm gonna laugh, but yes, for all you lucky people that get to play Street Fighter 6, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be petty. I'm not trying to be hateful. I just now realize I'm gonna have to step my game up and just bite the bullet and just get a PS5 or Xbox Series X. Hold on.
We mean nothing negative by this. We get bit, just call a spade a spade.
Okay. Okay. Hey, hang on. I have to get this perfectly. So,
Are you gonna mute one and play the other?
nope. I'm just gonna show one first. I said just if a picture from a scene can say 1,000 words, just understand. I know a lot of people are going, yes, Fifth Element, Ruby Rod. Yes, Will, we know. Why are you showing us this? If a picture can speak 1,000 words, I'm just, like I said, go with me on this. You'll see why momentarily.
Street Fighter 6.
Give me a foot!
Welcome to the world of Street Fighter. Are you a fighter looking for your next challenge? Or just passing through on your journey? Either way, we're more than happy to have you! This is the Battle Hub, a place that connects people from all walks of life. There's always someone new to meet and plenty to do. Wow! Whether you want to fight, spectate some matches, hang out with friends, or enjoy the festivities. If you're all about that Street Fighter life, the Battle Hub is the place to be. This is your fave, Eternity, signing off. See ya! And don't forget to like and sub.
Come on!
You could literally, figuratively, you could hear it. You could hear it. Don't get me wrong. Again, Gitbit is not, we do not discriminate against anything. So before
We just
anybody
call spade a spade.
we're just, thank you. We are calling it as we see it. No discrimination. All are welcome. But
I really do think they took some mocap from Ruby Rod, because all you do is replace the microphone with the Rod microphone, and some of that is movement for movement verbatim.
Damn near.
Also, I'm fairly certain Eternity is very good friends with Poison.
All I gotta say is damn near, because my God, don't get me wrong, the battle hub looks great. It does kind of give me Fortnite vibes, because again, you're talking with friends. I guarantee they're gonna probably try to put a concert within Street Fighter, which, don't get me wrong, for Fortnite standards, it worked out great for Fortnite. Still works out great for Fortnite. I'm surprised I'm not seeing other open sandbox games try what Fortnite is doing, but I think Street Fighter is going to be the first one to try it. But again, with the Battle Hub, I see nothing wrong with it. Apparently, Eternity is going to be the MC for that part. So, I mean, Street Fighter 6 is, for all intents and purposes, looks good. As far as the Battle Hub goes and gameplay, which is now being, all the, how can I put this so nicely? All the lucky / important people are getting to play it. So, like I said before, the beta is open for it. So if you do have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, feel free to run with it until the beta closes. So, but Joe, any other thoughts we have on Ruby Rod? I'm sorry, Eternity. I'm sorry, I had to switch it.
No thoughts, sir. I am a meat popsicle.
I just can't get past that. Oh God. That being said, the last of our video games that we have is this one. This one is actually called, the trailer is called One Piece Odyssey. Now, I have yet to see this trailer, and also I've never played a One Piece game. I love the manga. I am actually catching up on the anime because I truly believe you can catch up with One Piece. So I'm curious about this one. So
how far are you in the anime?
Anime episode 960.
Oh, you're in Wano. That doesn't matter anymore.
Say what?
You're in Wano. This doesn't matter to you.
Damn. That being said, One Piece Odyssey.
ビビちゃんの国か。しかし、本当にこれが思い出の中なのか？
ビビってどんな人なの？
ビビは俺たちの仲間だ。
ともあれ決まりだな。
目的地はレインベースのレインディナーズ。懐かしいわ。ここでもいろいろあったわね。
そうだな。うまい飯屋もあったな。
いや、飯の話じゃねえよ。
情報集めは私に任せて。当時のことならこの中で一番詳しいから。
メリーじゃねえか。
ビビはこの国を大切に思ってるの。家族のように大切に。家族？よくわからないわ。あなたたちの言う仲間というのも。
私はもうこれ以上誰も死なせたくないの。
俺たちの命くらい一緒にかけてみろ。仲間だろうが。
たとえここが思い出の中でも誰も死んでほしくないの。
アラバスタの精神に刻まれたワッフルズの名前。あの島と関係があるのは間違いなさそうだわ。
仲間ってそんなに大切に思えるものなの？
みんな、もう一度だ。何回でも何十回でもぶっ飛ばしてやる。
Okay, so that was the trailer for One Piece Odyssey. Looks great. I'm eventually going to have to play a One Piece game because that's a mark on me. I've never played a One Piece game, even though I think Burning Blood and something else is available on PlayStation Premium right now. So that's going to be interesting. But Joe, did you have some? I think you had some differences about this game. It plays differently from everything else, though, right?
Yeah, this is a turn-based JRPG. A lot of the other ones are action-based, more kind of in kin with just either standard beat-em-ups or action RPGs like Tales games.
Oh, like Tales of Arise. Okay.
Yeah. Stuff like that. The ones that are on there should be One Piece World Red, which is written by Ochiro Oda. So that one's actually have a storyline from the author.
Okay.
Burning Blood is a fighting game, kind of like Tenkaichi Budokai and Xenoverse. It's that kind of gameplay. But it's got a massive roster. It's also the first time you can play Gear 4 Bounce Man. And then, of course, One Piece Pirate Warriors, which is probably the most definitive way to play One Piece, considering powers and the goofy amount of people that rush them down all the time.
Gotcha.
So seeing Luffy knock 200 soldiers out of his way is not uncommon.
Nah, not until he hits Gear 3. My God. Anyway, that's just me in One Piece. So I'm gonna have to definitely check into that. So Joe, I know as we kind of move along, sir, should we stick to the anime or should we just go into She-Hulk? Because either way, we're gonna have fun with this.
Oh yeah, either way we're gonna have fun with it. I mean, either the Devil's Walk of Shame or we get the other one. So
Oh, for all those that are wondering, by the way, I feel like that needs to be shown. And I can sit there and say it's without context because I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say he had a walk of shame. Yes, he did. the casual stroll, just like, yeah. Matt Murdock, no F's given. But no, but
I wouldn't know why he just doesn't have his boots on and just walking in the grass. Also, I wouldn't even call that a walk of shame.
What would you call it?
I don't know.
They
I
wanted to make
was
it a
gonna
walk.
say I just don't see that as a shameful thing that's happened.
Oh, but you couldn't tell by the Marvel fans that were so pissed off about this one. Keep in mind, we are talking about She-Hulk episode 8. Spoilers if you hadn't already seen it, so you've been warned. This was the episode that we finally did see Daredevil in. And Daredevil did not disappoint at all. Not only did we get Daredevil, we got Leapfrog, which he kind of reminded me of just the campy version that I know he could be. He actually kind of reminded me of a certain character from The Boys. But there was a hallway fight scene, which again, I'm happy about. I guess the Walk of Pride. I don't know if we can call it a Walk of Shame. Walk of Pride, maybe? Just like, hey, snoo. But yes, we did get that. And of course, at the very end, Bruce Banner's how can we say, warning becomes true for her, just because she was humiliated and her Hulk side took over and she decided to wreck the place justifiably. But Joe, what did you think of this? What do you think of the most recent episode before we talk about the reason why some Marvel fans got in a tizzy?
Oh, it was fantastic. The CG they used with Daredevil was pretty good, but then again, the Daredevil we saw on Netflix was not really dealing with superhuman beings.
Right.
With maybe the exception of Bullseye, but their Bullseye in their season was weird, and I don't know if that constitutes as Bullseye quite yet, but anyways. So the Netflix Daredevil is more grounded in reality. This is a Daredevil where I can believe this man on any given Tuesday is probably fighting Stiltman over in over off to the side of Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
So very swashbuckly, very highly maneuverable, more flippy dippy. Kind of Daredevil, less Batman brain trauma is better than death.
Yeah. But
the humor is good. Charlie Cox continues to be fantastic as Matt Murdock. The whole ending thing was perfect. Jen letting the one super rich dude's like, I'm not comfortable with you shouting Wakanda forever. I'm gonna leave now.
Man, that was creepy in itself. There is simply no words for that.
He's also the dude. He's also Corey, one of the dudes she caught.
Yeah.
In her Hulk rage. So there's that.
Yep.
But
go ahead.
It'll just be a thing. I guarantee it. He's just a pawn of the leader or something.
Well, that's the thing that I also pointed out. I want to point out before we get to that though, because a lot of people had some gripes. So let's just go ahead and knock them out as quickly as possible.
Don't they?
They always have gripes, but again, we have to show them the way. First off, was the suit. Why was Daredevil's suit red and yellow? Well, there's a reason for that. Because they were honoring, again, previous that wasn't Daredevil's iconic red suit was not the only red suit that he had. Keep in mind, he actually had a red and yellow suit back in his previous issues. So, for all those that are complaining, they are actually following the comics. But then again, in my opinion, they've been following the She-Hulk comics. They followed the She-Hulk comics to me to almost perfection. But to sit there and get mad that Daredevil has a red and yellow suit instead of a traditional red suit, this tells me that I always stand and say, please go back and read the comics. You may find something. The other part, though, was that, Matt Murdock was a practicing Catholic, and he never laid it down, and he never, he was never promiscuous.
That man gets as much tail as Dick Grayson.
Thank you. I didn't have enough time to look for it. I was going to go look for it. I said, you understand, this is the same man that nailed Elektra in the previous series. Nailed Elektra.
Karen Page.
Thank you.
Even in the Chip Zdarsky thing, he's sleeping with a mob boss's daughter.
Exactly. And got the nerve to complain that he and Jennifer hooked up. Are you kidding? That's the part where I stand and say some people say, well, he doesn't do all this. Yes, he does. Just in the same sense that he's human. Although
the internet.
Although his for a blind guy,
here is a complete list of everybody who has slept with Daredevil.
You got a list?
There's a list. Karen Page, Nyla Skin, Maya Lopez Echo, Typhoid Mary, Dakota North.
Okay,
Black
I
Widow,
got Typhoid Mary. Yep.
Heather Glenn, Moondragon, Black Cat,
yep.
Mila Donovan, Gloriana O'Brien, Kristen McDuffie, Becky Blake, Claire Temple, and Elektra Nachos.
Yeah, so practicing Catholic all you want to. The man had a list. Matt Murdock. For all those that are going to understand this reference, Matt Murdock has coffee. Why? Coffee's for closers. Some of y'all are gonna get that reference. Some of y'all are gonna look that up. Either way, roll with it. But no, I think that we only have one more episode of She-Hulk left to go, so it does make us wonder if it's going to be the leader. I still think it is, but eventually they have to show their head who's ever behind the Informatica website. And of course, the guy that Jen had initially hooked up with previously in the wedding is still out there. And it's just the next episode, which is I think She-Hulk only gets 9 episodes, so 9 is going to be the season finale. So it's going to be interesting to see what they go with. Will we see the leader? Will we see somebody else? It's just going to be good to say. But either way, this was a great episode. I couldn't knock it. I actually loved every part of it. But Joe, any other thoughts before we quickly gloss over Star Wars?
No, not really. I mean, this was just a really good episode, and I enjoyed myself with it.
Yeah, but then again, Charlie Cox is a national treasure and should be protected. Looking forward to Daredevil Born Again, not too far from now. Star Wars. Let me just go. Look, as a Star Wars fan, let me say I am enjoying Andor. That being said, we are now 5 episodes in. If this series burns any slower, I fear we're going into how can I put this ever so nicely? If Star Wars Andor gets any slower, I fear we're going into the CW DC storytelling. That is not good at all. That is danger borderline at that moment. So Disney, LucasArts, I hope that episode 6 really picks up, because I like the idea of Andor. I will never stop saying that, because it is a challenge to tell a Star Wars story that isn't around a Jedi or a Sith or a faction. It is very, very difficult because you're trying to make the environment and the characters in it that important. I understand it. I get it. But make me a believer. Make me a believer to invest this time to where you guys are actually going to make us believe that Star Wars Andor is going to be a great series. We love The Mandalorian. I love Boba Fett. Some people had mixed reviews about it. And of course, The Bad Batch, that was great as well. But, with everything else coming out, The Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, The Mandalorian Season 3, which is highly anticipated, make us believe that Andor has a place. That's all I'm saying. Because Joe, when you say Joe, you watched it for 10 minutes and you was out.
Oh, I fell asleep in episode 5, and I'm done with this. I will pop back in the moment KS2O comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, Andor on his own is about as plain as Sara Lee white bread.
Damn. I mean, you ain't wrong, but damn. But anyway, move right along to anime. How do we start with this? Because me and Joe have both watched, the first episode of Gundam: The Witch from Mercury, and if you haven't watched it, we are
The
going to
most
talk.
adorable pilot in the world is gives the most disrespectful beatings.
What we mean by that is the next following scene.
俺は少し優しすぎたようだ。未来の夫としてこれからは厳しくしていく。お前はおとなしく俺のものになればいいんだよ。
お母さんから教わらなかったんですか？そんなことしちゃダメです。
なんだお前は。俺が誰だか分かってるのか。
横レモンさん。
俺はな、ベネリットグループ御三家の御曹司で決闘委員会の筆頭で現在のホルダーだ。
ホルダー。
決闘で選ばれた学園ナンバー1のパイロットだ。
それでも悪いことは悪いです。ミオリネさんに謝ってください。
ここではな、何が善か悪かは決闘で決めるんだよ。それとも俺と決闘するか？
やります。
何？
あなたと決闘します。やめて！あんたに関係ない。
面白い。お前が負けたら退学してもらうぞ。
ほい、このバカ！やります。
Now, for all those that are wondering, the first episode impressions, our impressions, well, let me start. I'm going to let Joe go first because Joe summed this up so carefully about the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. If you ever want a synopsis, Joe, the floor is yours.
The most cinnamon bun first female protagonist, who is an absolute cinnamon bun, absolutely disrespectfully destroys this man in every way, shape, and form possible, and then has to figure out, well, what the hell do I do now?
You know, we have a list. We have an unofficial list here on GetBet called the most disrespectful ass whoopings. Now, of course, the number one topic one of disrespectful ass whoopings still belongs to John Walker of the Dora Milaje in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This has now reached number 2. And if you have not seen Gundam: The Witch from Mercury, I highly recommend that you do. Because if you watch the episode, you'll understand why we're putting this at a solid 2. A very, very solid 2. I am not complaining. I mean, my impressions of it, I am not complaining. I love the story so far. I love the fact that, you know, our main hero, she's a little timid, but she at some points she goes Doc Holliday from Tombstone. He's like, he goes, okay, let's duel. I'm Huckleberry, let's go. Scared and timid, but still ready to fight. And again, I don't want to give too much away of the episode. I could definitely worth watching. I loved it. But Joe, anything else you want to add to it?
Slapping his ass, disrespecting his mama, taking his woman, and turning his mobile suit into Swiss cheese.
All in one episode.
And then still wears the headband mom tells you to wear.
All in one episode.
No, honestly, joking aside, I really like it. I like that the standard grunt mobile suits this time around are a odd blend of the classic Zaku and the Sumo from Turn A Gundam. We see also a bizarre variant of, I guess that would be a goof type mobile suit.
I would guess so.
I am hyper confused why The school bully is driving a purple mobile suit, but for some reason they kept calling it red. It's like, that's not red. That's purple. I don't think I'm that colorblind. I don't think I'm colorblind yet, but that's not a red mobile suit.
I'm not gonna lie. I almost started checking my colors. I almost started checking the color on my computer monitors. I was this close to doing it.
This is Mobile Suit Gundam. We know what a red mobile suit looks like. It's kind of an ongoing theme, with the exception of like maybe 2 people.
Yeah.
If they have a mask, their mobile suit is red, unless you're like Zex Marquise or someone from Victory Gundam. You got a red Schwarzbruder.
Yeah, I mean he had a
black mobile suit.
He had a black mobile, so yeah, that's about right. He had a black mobile suit. Schwarzbruder. I'm sorry. It went G Gundam. Oh boy. Okay. But
no, we really recommend that. My Hero, we're getting started with the Liberation Front assault, and everyone gets to go nuts because Bunny Chick was in full force in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I see why the fandom is all over this woman.
Oh, that's a furry fetish, but go ahead.
I don't get it. It's just weird to me. I mean, people always ask, like, who's your wife? And it's like, I'm 40 and I don't speak your moon language.
Oh, but yes, I'm sorry, but not
half the cast of My Hero Academia is like 16 and 14. So
yeah,
what that says about me versus what that says about you when you ask that question is that's.
But I will say
police are on their way. The police have been notified, and you're on a list.
But I will say this, just because this is actually the start of the war arc between Liberation and the Heroes, which you get to taking over. So I am looking forward to this, especially a few specific scenes. I don't want to go too much into detail, but just know that this arc, there's a reason why this arc has taken so long to come to animation. You will not be disappointed because this season is going to run a little bit longer than previous seasons have. But yes, the first episode definitely did not disappoint. But also in other news as well, just because while it's still fresh, a lot of people are wondering, as myself, if you're like me and you're a Bleach fan, you're wondering when are you going to be able to see it on Hulu/Disney Plus? Well, got your answer. Unfortunately, in the US, we will not see the beginning of Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. We will not see it until October 10th, specifically 8:30 in the AM Pacific time, 11:30 Eastern, and of course 4:30 p.m. if you are in the UK. So that is when you'll be able to watch it on Hulu or on Disney Plus. But the 10th being that we will not see it until sometime next week. Chainsaw Man, again, it's one of those ones I'm looking into as well. It will actually go live on Crunchyroll October 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So the day after Bleach comes out, Chainsaw Man will also be available as well. I'm looking forward to both animes. But any thoughts on that, Josh? I almost called you Josh. Sorry, Joe. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
I mean, I don't know anything about Chainsaw Man. I just know it's supposed to be about as gory as Guyver. So
yeah, so they're definitely not kid friendly.
My Hero thing, I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm not as big into My Hero as a lot of people are, but and that's very interesting considering what a comic book person I am. But it's a hit and miss with me on their storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the core supporting cast more than the core cast.
Okay.
Just like I find the other kids or the other heroes more worth time getting invested in than like Deku, who's just gonna like get all the powers at some point, I'm sure. That tells me yes. And Bakugo will probably Vegeta the crap out of himself. That lick also says yes.
I'm gonna turn my camera off while you're talking. You keep looking at me. I
So,
am not
you know,
saying
I mean, it's really not that I'm dismissing it. It's fine. The character designs are great. I've already found a hero I like, but you know, Rule, unfortunately, she's one of the background characters, but she's dressed like Ultra 7.
Mhm.
So I'll be down if I get to play her in the trading card game sometime in the future. We never know. It's a perfectly serviceable Shonen Jump anime.
Oh, I love it. And also for all those who are wondering, Jujutsu Kaisen, the movie on Crunchyroll, highly recommend that you watch it. Understand this is before the events of the current arc for anybody that's got questions.
That's right. You only get Maki. You don't get Nobara and Maki, which is the perfect blend.
Right. Now, Jujutsu Kaisen itself, season 2 will not air on Crunchyroll until 2023. That was actually confirmed not too long ago. So we will not see that until, unfortunately, January of next year. But that's fine, considering that's just around the corner. But I'm not complaining about that. But
I mean, we still got like Spy Family, which is fantastic. Season 2 just started. We're getting their future sighted dog Bond within these episodes. So now we have a spy, assassin, a telepath, and a dog that can see into the future for a little bit.
I'm gonna really have to catch up on this first season of Spy Family. Catch
That's
up.
fantastic. Mama Yor is already getting ready to just absolutely destroy more people.
Nice.
Because she keeps hearing about children being kidnapped and forced into marriage at a young age, and she immediately mistakes the situation, which is bad, but is about to turn out so much worse for these people than what it needs to be. What other one is getting ready to come out? The new Kamen Rider anime is still going absolutely strong. Cannot recommend that enough. That actually got nominated for Best Animated Series out of 2022 thus far for its animation style.
Okay.
Highly believe it. I believe it only lost to Licorice Recoil, which was a fantastic series that just finished up. I kind of wish it was a 26 episode series as opposed to a 13, but that was so good. But Fudo PI continues to exist. We're going to start taking on the 4 big bads of the series, and already we're fighting a Brontosaurus, giant skeletal Brontosaurus in a parallel Shadow City. So, you know, your typical normal Kamen Rider stuff.
Interesting.
We've already sewed the ultimate form for both Kamen Riders because both Double and Excel are in this series. So we got to see Double Extreme and Excel Trial.
I still got to catch up. I still have to catch up on the other area for Kamen Rider because there's been. I was trying to catch up on the current season in that place we can't talk about, but it's still good. But
Dragon Quest is almost finished too. Dragon Quest Die is almost done finally.
Yeah.
I think it should have been done a while ago, but we also got hit with those Toei hacks that delayed it like by a month. I would say
it's not finished yet. I'm keeping up with that. That's not finished yet, but it's close.
It's the close. Digimon Ghost Game also kind of chugging along where we're still not gonna. We still have yet to find out who the big bad is, and it's still Monster of the Week. And our only sign that the overall plot is moving forward is we got more of Gusla Gamamon back again, and
I'm still laughing.
He murdered more Digimon in the most violent and horrible ways possible.
That part will always stick out in my head.
They want to be a bit more specific. The time where he impaled one through the skull with his tail, or the time
the one where he
had the fist down.
No, the one where
he just used Desdemona on her. From
the one where he devoured the other one in front of the kids.
Oh yeah,
that to me is always going to be the worst. That to me, you can't top that. To literally watch it get devoured while kids are watching. That's something else. That you just can't top that, in my opinion. But any other anime news we have before, or any other news we have before we move to comics?
Just what we've been playing as of late.
Because I was trying to think, did we miss anything? Because I know we did know that. Well, this may be old news, but again, it's been reconfirmed that Jamie Foxx will be playing the lead in Todd McFarlane's Spawn. Michael J. White has been consulted, but of course, Jamie Foxx is going to be playing the lead in that. Any other? I'm trying to think of any other news that we may have forgotten before we move on to comics.
The new Pokemon trailer dropped.
Yes, which again, it was for Scarlet and Violet, which was basically just giving its example of what you can look forward to. I guess is about the best way I could put that.
Oh, geez, I know what we're forgetting.
What's that?
We're forgetting the new Black Panther trailer.
Oh, do we not play that? I feel
No.
Oh, give me a second. I thought we played that. My bad. I can fix that. Give me a second.
Because they're looking at us like, we didn't play this, did we?
I don't think we did. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought we did. Maybe it's the fact that I have sushi on my mind now. And
in Blade, Marvel's Blade is now getting a complete rewrite from the scriptwriter of Blade, because from what we have heard, the primary reason Mahershala Ali was unhappy with the production of Blade is the Blade script was only 90 pages long, with some humor and 2 really sloppy fight scenes.
Which Kevin Feige sat there and was... Do you know how bad it is that Kevin Feige has to sit there and be like, no? And again, like I said, for most Marvel, like for all those to give you an idea, most movie scripts are never under 100 pages. Never. So the fact that this one was kind of tells you off the bat that whoever they hired to be the writer for this was good and terrible. At the same time, Blade has such a following that this has to be a better movie, just because we already heard Mahershala Ali in Eternals when you saw Kit, I guess becoming the next Black Knight. When you see him about to pick up the sword, you hear the voice. So we already know that Blade is somewhere in the MCU. I'm kind of hoping they do the MS-13 team, but I think that's kind of off to the side right now. But again, Blade should be done properly, which I think it will be now, because they got Sam Raimi to confirm directing, and I think it's going to be great. I would like to see more of the horror aspect. Not so much the gore as the previous Wesley Snipes. I mean, let's be honest, he's a vampire hunter. There's going to be gore somewhere along the lines, but really a great story for Blade, because Blade, as far as a comic, has plenty of stories, plenty of enemies they can draw from. So whoever is the new writer, or I should say team of writers, because Marvel usually does the quality control check when it comes to stuff like this. So it's going to, I'm hoping they take better care of it than what we thought we were getting. Because if there's one thing I will say that Marvel does better than DC, quality control. But then again, Marvel has a point person, DC yet has not. But anyway, I am so apologizing, because I thought we played the Wakanda Forever trailer, because people are already speculating. But me and Joe had called this because we keep saying, pay attention to the toys. But there's also another thing in this trailer that people are pointing out as well. But let's go ahead and play it first. Here's Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Only the most broken people can be great leaders.
His people did not call him general or king. They called him Kukulkan, the feather serpent god. Killing him
will risk eternal war.
He's coming. For the surface world.
We know what you whisper. They have lost the protector. Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
And that was the trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, Joe has said this. I have said this. If you want to know, what's going to happen to a movie, there is a company that if you wait long enough will tell you everything you want to know. And that snitch is Legos. Lego sets will tell you everything about a movie before it comes out. And again, Lego had already showed Shuri, and you happen to notice on the Lego collection set, she had Black Panther armor, which goes to show you that, yes, this was one of the routes they were going to go. It's already been, at this point, all but confirmed that she will be donning the role of Black Panther. That being said, people who have seen the trailer have went over it scene by scene, analyzed it, and noticed that another Black Panther suit in the fight with Namor was seen, which again speculates, is there more than one Black Panther going to be in the movie? So, Joe, your thoughts on that?
The answer is yes, because if you look, Shuri's wearing Killmonger's suit. We don't know who's wearing T'Challa's suit. It's M'Baku.
If it is, I'm not complaining.
I mean, I'm not complaining too, because he's had the right to become Black Panther for a while.
And he was Black Panther in the comics, but yeah.
Yeah, he was Black Panther in the comics. He currently leads the Wakandan Space Empire. So, you know, the thing that worries me about this trailer is this was a very serious trailer, and then you had Riri Williams being like, kid, like, yeah, super fun times. So like, no, that's not what the tone of this trailer is, child. I'm sorry.
I think that's more of a cut just to actually show her in Ironheart, which again, I'm digging. And this kind of makes me, the more I look at Riri Williams, getting her first MCU entrance, and the fact that, let's be honest, she's going to be a part of Armor Wars. I already see that happen.
Will hopefully not look like Deoxys by then.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Joe. But I'm not complaining about that. The fact of they're showing Namor and they're not saying the word Atlantis, which is the one thing I did want to point out, that if everybody's assuming it's Atlantis, but it's not. It's actually going to be a design for the story, a design kingdom for the story, not Atlantis. So, and the fact of showing him as a feather serpent god, I was like, okay.
Who is a real thing in Mayan mythology.
Exactly. So a lot of people were like, well, I don't get it. I said, they're taking a lot of care with this movie, and it shows. And I'm sorry, every time I see Angela Bassett, I'm like, why can't she not be Storm now? Storm was Queen of Wakanda. We can make it work. I'm just saying, Storm was Queen. We can make it work. But I digress. But with Wakanda Forever, it's going to be great. It's going to be interesting. November 11th is going to be a definitely interesting time. I cannot wait to go see it. I just wonder where they're going to go after this, because with the multiverse story, it does go into several different factions. We do see Secret Wars. We do see the Kang Dynasty. I forgot. There's another third one I'm missing. But it's just going to be interesting to see where they go with the Wakanda Forever story as far as these two kingdom battling. Somebody, and I was going to bring this up to you, Joe, because someone sat there and said, well, Namor is not the villain. They believe Doctor Doom is. So would it be far-fetched to believe that Doctor Doom may appear in Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, we still don't know who the actual main villain is. Like, technically, there's going to be an all-out war between Talokan, which is actually a real thing in Aztec culture. Is technically a considered pretty much paradise for the Aztecs.
Yeah.
So I mean that's actually a real thing, which is fine. I'm down with Aztec Namor. That works out well. Again, this leads credence that they are connected to Cusco.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can have now Talokian, Krunk, and Yzma in this movie. So I get to hear someone say, pull the lever, Krunk, another time.
I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do that.
I also wonder if this means that we will get underwater squirrels so we can kill more squeakers, squeaking. But, that aside, I'm going to get you every time, I swear to God.
That being said, guys, November 11th.
That being said, so Dr. Doom, is that a possibility? Well, in all honesty, if that is the case, so be it. I'm down for it. I mean, we have the Fantastic Four coming soon, so Victor needs to be established somewhere. And honest to God, in a war between these two, I'm more than okay with the U.S. government being the bad guy. Because more than likely, they're probably where they're not supposed to be, and that's going to set something off.
I think I got a different route, which I'm kind of hoping I'm right, but I'm also kind of hoping that I'm not right.
We also see scenes from X-Men versus Avengers with Namor flooding Wakanda.
Yeah.
I am okay with that because that means Storm doesn't have to get her hands dirty. Even though I still think Namor's one that flooded it anyways when he had the Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
But also Storm didn't stop him and she was the reigning queen of Wakanda. So
that is true.
Storm will always side with the mutants, even over her own husband.
Yeah.
We've seen it in House of X, where even like when she went to go steal the sword of Wakanda, T'Challa goes like, girl, all you had to do was ask and I would have handed it over to you. You didn't have to steal it.
Pretty much. But no, I still think, Dr. Doom isn't bad. I kind of want to say just because we see more U.S. government involved, I have this theory that General Ross has already been recasted. Yeah. I have this theory that Ross is going to be involved in two parts. That somehow he's going to be involved in Wakanda Forever, and at the same time, he's going to be involved somewhere else in a different movie. And I'm just thinking they're kind of setting up it's kind of setting that up to where I think we're going to see that. But at the same time, Dr. Doom's not bad either, because like you said, Fantastic Four is coming up. Dr. Doom needs to be established somewhere. We do know in the multiverse that Mr. Fantastic does exist. I hope they do keep John Krasinski, because his portrayal of Mr. Fantastic in Multiverse of Madness was great. No complaints there.
Supposedly he's in Deadpool 3, remember? Because he leaked it on Twitter. It's like, oh, this is our movie?
Yep. And Marvel loves to do that too. Although who can forget the week that was saved by Ryan Reynolds? The week that was saved. He saved us that week.
I'm more than happy with Doom coming in because we need a Thanos level threat, and it needs to be Doom. I don't think a guy in a very open shirt and bell bottoms being the Beyonder is going to be the biggest, baddest man on the block. He'll probably be exactly what he always is every time he shows up, a MacGuffin for someone else to get his powers. I mean, definitely we can't jump right into Silver Surfer and Doom getting cosmic powers through the Surfer, but
pretty much. Yeah.
Even though the Surfer is already established via Thor 3.
Yeah.
So that's always a thing. But after credit scene with Dr. Doom, whoever's playing him, I keep hearing it's Henry Cavill.
Well,
Sure.
I'm not complaining because we kind of also, just a separate note. Thank you, Rock. Thank you, Rock. Thank you, Rock. All I'm gonna say, right? Because Rock basically got Henry Cavill's deal. Henry Cavill is now an executive producer in the next Superman movie. So
good. That means we'll actually get a Superman.
Yeah, we are actually going to get a. We are actually going to get a Superman. We're actually going to get a validated Superman movie. He's actually signed on for. I forgot. He signed on for 5 DC movies, so we do know he is going to be around at least for a Black Adam fight. So, and the thing about it is, not to completely go away from Wakanda Forever, but Rock basically fought and pretty much told DC that Henry Cavill needs to be Superman. Henry Cavill and his agent have always said the same thing. If you give Cavill an executive producer credit on the Man of Steel, bingo bango, he's in there. What did DC do? Give him an executive producer credit. He's back. Why DC couldn't do this the last 8 months is beyond me. But apparently, The Rock has got a lot of pull with DC, especially with the fact of Black Adam. They are really banking on that movie. So if there's anything I'm more thankful for, The Rock, thank you for securing Superman, because Henry Cavill could have signed with MCU, and that alone was a cavalcade of things he could have played. It's like Keanu Reeves coming in and saying he wants to play Ghost Rider, which, again, I'm not mad about that either if they decide to go that route. But that's all I'm saying. It's a beautiful thing. So, Rock, thank you. Looking forward to Black Adam very soon. But Wakanda Forever. But going back to Wakanda Forever, yes, Dr. Doom would make the quintessential Thanos level fight. It also would eventually bring in the Fantastic Four, or at least give an inkling to them. But yes, we are going to have 2 questions, because every time we have a question about Black Panther, that question becomes 2 questions. And now, instead of us saying, okay, well, now we know Shuri is in one suit, who's the mystery in the second suit? I feel like it's No Way Home all over again, except the fact of everybody's being very hush-hush about it. But we'll find out in November. But any other news, Joe, that we forgot about before we move forward?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Comics this week, as Joe's getting that together. I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to the people that support us while Joe's getting that up. I do want to shout out to Rick's Comic City. They do have a website, guys. rickscomiccity.com, voted the #1 comic book store in Nashville to go to. They do have 3 locations: Nashville, Tennessee, Clarksville, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Definitely check them out. I do, because I've been buying a lot of graded comics from them. You can actually buy graded comics, whether at the 3 locations or online, because again, I am so happy about having my Superboy, about having my Amazing Spider-Man that's signed. A couple of Booster Gold and Doctor Strange comics that were just received by them. So definitely shout out to Rick's Comic Book City. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely do give them a visit. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, go to your local comic book store, support them. Also, if you are not near a local comic book store, if you're near a library, do that. Libraries have the most up-to-date comics, books, mangas, multimedia. Yes, in 2022, you can still get a library card. Check out this and check out and read or watch or listen to your heart's content. So support your local libraries, support your local comic book stores, because trust me, you're going to miss them when they're gone. With that being said, Joe, what comics you got for us today, sir?
Okay, starting off, we got an honorable mention with X-Men Red. This is the fallout from last time on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
With Mercury, we see the passing away of Magneto, who we must remind you is permanently dead and never coming back.
At least for the series.
This is written by Al Ewing with art by Stefano Caselli and colors by Protobunkers. I can't pronounce that name. First, Fuentes Sojo. We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Pretty much after that, they're trying to reconvene the council on Araco, and Iska tries to stick her nose into it. And this is where So it's like, well, I should have 2 seats. No one can beat me. And then Fisher King steps like, nope, I challenge you. It's like, all right, I can win any challenge. I challenge you to a challenge of understandings and what the challenge of loss is like. It's because, like, well, shit, I am withdrawing from this challenge, so I can never lose. I will leave, and you will never see me again. So Storm just like, all right, well, I get 2 seats because now I get Iska's and my seat and Eric's seat. So
Right.
I come up for 3 votes. But just Fisher King stepping up and goes like, I challenge you to that in the understanding of who understands loss the most.
Yep.
Between you and I. This kid just immediately bounces.
Why did I feel like that was more of a I was gonna say, why did I feel like that was more of a Sandman Netflix reference? just
I
the
have no
game.
idea.
Oh, you never watched it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's really hard to get on Netflix in my house because family is always watching Korean dramas.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up because I was like, oh, you haven't seen it. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up because it is really good. That's why I just need to shut up. But go ahead.
Moving right along, we got the Dead Lucky number 3. The government finally makes their moves and sends robots after our main character. And as a consequence of fighting them, main character's family gets injured in the battle, and then she goes full power.
That was by fully powered. She is now a how can we put this ever so nicely? Techno necromancer, I guess is about the best we can put that.
Tech necromancer, sure.
Yeah, that's about the best way I could put that. A tech necro.
You also see that she can manifest almost her full battalion at this point.
Yeah.
Or at least her squad. A battalion is so many more soldiers.
I'm about to say, well, technically, battalion's what? 100 battalion is 50, a battalion's 100. So yeah, you're right.
She can manifest her whole squad as electromagnetic ghosts. So yeah, she is in full swing of full power. We still don't know what her origin story is, but I'm okay with that. The story has been okay. I'm guaranteed the second arc is going to be how we got here. This is a how we got here. The next arc will be how we got here.
Right. Oh, I like the fact that it's like her powers were evolved. That's why I kind of got that feeling like she was kind of dipping more into her powers. That's why I was like, what can we call you? Because technically you're not really giving us ghosts, but you're giving us electric versions of your squad. So it's like, that is like the worst D&D character I can think of that I can put a name to. But no, it was good. It was a good episode. It was good. It was a good issue.
Brief talk. We did have Rogue Sun return. Unfortunately, the new issue is a choose your own adventure book from back when we were in elementary school. So art was fantastic, but I can't recommend a choose your own adventure book because
it can go so many different ways.
It really can go so many different ways, and you just don't know what's canon and what's not in the story.
And that's how they get you.
So couldn't recommend that one, but we do have a new Rogue Sun out.
Nice.
Moving on over. Star Fox, X-Men versus Eternals, and Avengers, the Avengers aren't really a big part of this right now. It's mostly just X-Men and Eternals.
Pretty much.
This is written by Karen Gillian with art by Danielle Di Nicolo and colors by Frank William. This is Star Fox just being Star Fox in the middle of a crisis. The man is just a really big space hippie and the complete opposite of his brother.
If Ziggy Stardust was a
status, and now he's got a family member who wants that status, and all is groovy, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep on loving.
You could have this. You could have Prime Eternal. Why? Because you want it. I don't really want this for spilled. I'm hope. I'm the embodiment of hope and love. Feel free to have it. You can just imagine half the X-Men and Eternals just going, this really?
They expect that's from him. I mean, They have really fixed Star Fox because there's a long history of complaints about why this man was canceled prior to coming back in this book.
Yeah.
Very long list.
CBS receipt long.
I mean, we aren't talking Woody Allen long, but it's long.
I don't know. 2 CBS receipts, but go ahead.
This was fine. Karen Gillian again does great work with single character with building and more world building on this one. The pretty much the crux of this is the plan was just to get Star Fox promoted to
the Prime
Eternal so that Druig is no longer Prime Eternal. But it's not a title he really wants because there's way too much responsibility and honestly a lot of death and destruction, and that's just not Star Fox's vibe. And I don't use that in the ironic term. It is literally a vibe that he cannot deal with. Like, this man is built to be the embodiment of love and peace.
Sure.
If anymore, there'd be donuts involved, and I guarantee you a Donny Osmond special.
Damn.
I mean, I really don't have any other way to put it in the book, because this is just a dude doing his work, trying to instill hope and love in people during the apocalypse, the death of the planet.
I gotta make that into a clip. Hashtag Donnie and Donuts. I gotta make that into a clip. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then his uncle, what's his uncle's name? Euxis?
Yeah. That's his uncle's name.
That's horrifically ironic.
I mean, well, you got one uncle named Uranos and the other one named Euxis. It's like they really didn't have a lot.
You know who else is named Euxis, right?
Yeah. I remember.
Do we want to tell the folks?
It's more fun coming from you because I'm going to laugh as soon as I say it.
It's Darkseid's actual name. Which I think he has yellow omega beams now that I think about it.
As I said, just enough not to include the lawyers. Just enough to avoid the lawyers.
Well, I mean, the Eternals was Jack Kirby's take on the Forever People anyway, so, you know.
True. Still funny.
No, but I mean, really, this is all what the book is about, is just a dude bumming around Earth trying to instill hope and save people. I thought it was fine for what it is, considering what the character is.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He believes that, they all have different routes of how they want to beat the progenitor. And he's like, we can't do it without hope. He literally wants to be the embodiment of hope. So of course he doesn't want to stray from the fact of what he knows. So I'm not complaining about it. It was good. It was okay. I was just, just imagine you get to be Prime Eternal just to make sure someone else doesn't get it. Just turn around and give it to somebody else and be like, you got this. I'm out. It's like, but no, it was all right.
Moving on over, we have the AVX X-Men tie-in, also written by Karen Gillan, art by Francisco Mobili, and color by Frank Martin. This time it's Gene's turn to be judged. And of course, what are we going to judge Gene on? So remember, you were the Phoenix, and you blew up a planet. And he's like, do you have any idea how much I've been through on this?
It's like, remember that one time you were a Dark Phoenix and decided that you were just going to do mass genocide? Yeah, you're still that person. It's like deep down, you're still that person. Imagine having emotional support from Wolverine in a mind fight with Celestial.
And Mr. Sinister, who takes up for her because she's like, yeah, I've cloned Jean. They never come out right.
Yeah.
There's something about her intrinsically that keeps her, no matter what I do. Have you seen what's going on over in Limbo right now? My work, it doesn't work. I mean, the Eternal also just points out, it's like, well, I'm pointing all this stuff out to you, and your first response is to try and kill me. So
You're kind of validating everything that I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
literally, it's literally, well, I'm a changed person. No, you're not. I'll kill you. And you just
there it
proved my
is.
point.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Progenitor is kind of pulling the, you're doing exactly what I thought you would do and given the chance. So it's like you will always, in the coldest, I will say this, out of the line, the coldest line will always be, you will always be the Phoenix. You will always be a force of destruction. And it was just, out of all the lines he said, that one was the gut punch. And she just came to that point where she realized it and literally broke the link. What happened? I lost. He hit you with a haymaker of truth. That's all that was. That was a haymaker.
That's what the Progenitor is judging them on, if they can be true themselves. It's like, it's why Wolverine Pass. It's like, well, yeah, I kill people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I regret it, but I'm still going to do it for the good of our kind. That's why Doom passed, because Doom is like, I'm Dr. Doom. Screw you.
Dr. Doom still had the greatest time. If you admit to me that Reed Richards is smarter than you will be saved. He just
off my porch.
He just turns around and walks off.
He passes. That's why Cyclops passes, because Cyclops is true to himself. Like, yeah, you can't judge me. Only my wife can.
This is the reason why I respect Dr. Doom on so many levels. He's like, if you only admit that Reed Richards is smarter than you are absolved.
I don't know if Namor passed or not, because I feel the only one that would be able to judge him would be a version of Sue.
Yeah.
But Namor's also so full of himself to the degree of Doom where I wonder if he would pass.
He would have to. He's on that same level. He would pass.
Peter passed. We know Mile passed.
I see Namor as passing. I think he would pass. He's on that same level as Doom. I can see him being so full of himself that the Progenitor would have no choice to believe he is being true to himself. He passes.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But still, Doom to this point still has the greatest answer to the Progenitor.
Actually, right, Doom these days when they interact with the X-Men is great, because remember, he's also still pondering if Bowie's a mutant has been resurrected or not.
That is true. But then again, Miles had the most adorable one. He did have the most adorable one.
Spider-Man pops behind him, doing good. You too.
He said he stays true to himself. He passes. But the whole thing about Cap, which is going to be interesting when they come back to Avengers, because as you pointed out in the previous podcast, your shield was eradicated. And yet the first thing that breaks out of the shell is a shield. We have questions. That's all I gotta say. We definitely have questions. But no, it was a good issue. Jean's a powerful force, but going up against a celestial being, that's gonna be kind of a lost cause. But that's only one of the three options that they're trying to include to actually beat him. But I mean, even with the fact that she has to face the fact that her past is Dark Phoenix, it was bound to be used against her. But no, great issue.
Moving on over, we got a brief time in DC with Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. We get to see what is possibly the most powerful version of Superman, which I'm just going to dub Cosmic Superman.
That's all I can think of. Literally Cosmic Superman.
Big moment for the Titans, which kind of proves that the DC universe in this particular era is centering around Nightwing.
Yeah.
And also the younger heroes. So this is actually less a Justice League book and more a Giant Titans event, if you're really paying attention.
Well, I mean, that and Beast Boy was live, but we saw that coming.
Yeah. Beast Boy with the eye patch, which doesn't make any sense to me, because all he can do is just reform into an animal with excessive regenerative ability. And
that's the part that I didn't understand. I'm like, he has the ability to regenerate parts of his body. So,
depending on what animal he is, but I don't know what's going to turn and regrow an eye.
Lizard? Oh no, lizard's his tails and arms. What regrows an eye? Actually, no, jellyfish don't have eyes. I'm sorry. I'm going to National Geographic. Continue.
Yeah. So not too bad. The Legion of Doom's fall into the Great Darkness. Some stuff happened off panel in another book to get the MacGuffin that lets them fight against the darkness. Everyone's broken out of their stuff. Hal gets owned by Barry again verbally because Hal was relying too much on his ring.
Yep.
Kyle and Joe are still being held by Pariah, and then we get like Cosmic Superman.
The fact that Superman knew he was in a prison from Jump Street, that's the part where I was like, oh, I figured out where I was when I got here.
So that took me a moment because since we're on Crisis of Infinite Earths,
yeah,
I legit thought that was Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah,
because it had the golden armor Wonder Woman behind him.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
looked like the armor from Kingdom Come.
Yeah. Which I thought at first as well, considering the fact of how they drew it, how is Hito with the Silver Fox going on? That's all I was
Silver
like.
Fox and just wearing just the overalls.
Yeah, made me think Kingdom Come Superman. But the fact he's like, oh yeah, I've known this isn't real this entire time. I just realized it was a prison in my own mind. And you could have broke out anytime you felt like it. It's like yeah, they had to go get Batman, and Batman had to be convinced, but Superman, you're gonna tell me this entire time you could have broke out?
Look, he learned from his time dealing with the Black Mercy. If you're trapped in a dream, just roll with it for as long as you want, because eventually they're gonna come get you out.
I'm just saying, that's like if I was Batman, it's like, wait a minute, they had to come stop me and make me realize that I was in a prison of my own making. You've been knowing this. I was like, Superman, you're kind of a dick. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
We also get some nice stuff from the Justice Society too, but really this is a big Titans book.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Again, I wish the rest of DC was on board like they are with Marvel, where a large number of the books are respecting the continuity of a giant crisis happening.
Yeah.
But sadly, that is not the case. Oh, also Green Arrow came back to life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When she saw Ollie, it says, is this real? Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's fine. This is written by Josh Williamson with Dan by Daniel Sampiri and colors by Alejandro Sanchez. Like we said, guys, it's fine. We got like 2 more of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's neither here nor there, and I don't think the DC universe is changing that much afterwards. Except I think they're going to start refocusing on the newer heroes more and less on the thing. I think permanently the Superman book is split between John getting Superman and Clark getting Action Comics.
Yeah.
At least I think that's how it's going.
Your guess.
Flash, I know for a fact, is still going to be Wally West. Barry Allen is not a part of that book. Thank God. Green Lantern, we still don't have a Green Lantern book, and we don't know about John Stewart coming back in God mode.
Oh, it's the Emerald Knight?
Yeah, let's call it that.
You don't want to call you don't
Look, I'm just going to call it what it is. It's called the Emerald Jobber at this point. Ultimate power, immediate death.
Oh, man.
The man went out quicker than Yamcha.
I mean, you're not wrong, but they did overpower. They made Pariah way overpowered. I'm like, really? Emerald Knight power, and yet that happened. Okay. I'm sorry. That's just going to stick with me, but continue.
No, you're fine. I have no idea if Green Lantern's getting a new book.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to keep the same team or whatnot. All of us in the Green Lantern community kind of agree that none of us really cared about the John Stewart part, and we were more interested in the Joe Mullins and Baz arc with involving the other Lanterns and the attack on Oa, and that Jessica Cruz was a Yellow Lantern, and now through the magic of never explaining what happened, she's a Green Lantern again.
The
Despite the fact that it was like a big mystery that Baz didn't know his own partner became a Yellow Lantern.
Oh, the go with the theory. We're not going to explain it. Just go with it.
No, it's the magical power of not explaining it. I'm sure that'll be back in the back of the issue storybook or something.
More likely.
Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, outside of very few books, I'm barely reading as many DC books as I used to. It's mostly Marvel, and almost entirely because of X-Men. Certainly not Spider-Man right now. Come on, Dark Web. I just need to read you, and then I can quit that book.
Go ahead. That's a wonderful transition. That's a wonderful
Speaking of Spider-Man.
That's a wonderful
Spider-Man by Dan Slott and art by Mark Bagley with color inks by John Dell and coloring by Edgar Delgado. Because nothing is going on correctly in the proper Spider-Man book because everything's taking too long. Dan Slott decided to do his own Spider-Man book again, which ties directly into the Edge of Spider-Verse. The long and short of this one is something's going on and corrupting other spider people, turning them into spider-wasp human hybrids. And Morlun is back to aid Spider-Man because whatever's doing this has a mystical way of removing spider characters from the life web, meaning they don't die. They are literally erased from existence.
Right.
Which does happen to a prominent spider character who's been around for a very long time. And also that kind of questions what does happen to this character's children and family if she's erased from the timeline.
And go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it. Of course, Peter immediately sees Moreland and tries to beat him, despite Moreland's like, knock it off. Trying to help here. Stop it. And Peter's just going full hand to the point where it's like he is maskless in the middle of Times Square with Miles and Spider-Woman and other stuff. So we're getting this is focusing on the new big storyline that Dan Slott's doing. I'm guessing they gave him his own book because the other dude who's writing Spider-Man, it's not really intersecting.
Yeah.
It's doing its own thing. So if this moves past beyond Edge of the Spider-Verse, I'll be fine because I know Dan Slott can write and Mark Bagley can draw one of the best Spider-Mans this side of a web shooter.
But still, I see why you're waiting for Madam Web after reading this first issue.
Oh, Dark Web?
I see why you're waiting. This
has nothing to do with Dark Web. This is its own thing off to the side.
But
it's
still,
like they're writing the Amazing Spider-Man is like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and every other Sunday. This is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every other Sunday.
Still, just
why? This book was so much, while not that much better, it was an improvement over the previous book, Spider-Man book.
That is true. I rock with that. That's true. It was better.
The only thing they really have coordinating is that Peter's still working at Oscorp, and Norman will eventually become the superhero known as the Gold Goblin.
Pretty much. Because we've already had the Queen Goblin, and I'm already missing her. But I'm missing the Queen Goblin. But no, it wasn't bad. It's just, the whole premise of it all just makes me just like, why does Norman Osborn have to be a part? I think that's the part that makes me cringe, is why is Osborn so involved with Spider-Man and the suit? It's just, it never felt right. But
it's going to make more sense in Edge of Spider-Verse because one of the two big bads, aside from whoever this is, more than likely the Swarm, but I could be wrong, is the Norman Osborn Spider-Man and the other evil Spider-Man, Spiders-Man, who is a bunch of spiders collected on top of each other to be a human being.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying. But yeah, I mean, those two are maybe the two big bads. So having a Norman Osborn taking on a Norman Osborn may be a thing.
I can see that. But nah, it's one of those things that I couldn't get into that. But
I mean, some of the tie-ins have been fun. I mean, there's been Spider Rex, which we'll immediately stop talking about that and never bring him up ever again. There's Pete Spider-Man, whose greatest villain is a back porch barbecue, who we'll never talk about again ever.
you're not helping your case, Joe.
We do have some really good ones. We have Web Weaver, which is I don't know if he is a drag queen or a trans character, but I do like the spider design because it's very different to see a yellow and black spider costume.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of looks like a fusion between Prodigy and Spider-Man's costume.
Okay.
And then we have the Disney Princess Spider-Man, which a lot of people have been really big on. I, for one, don't mind it. We have the new female Black Spider-Man UK, which people are loving.
Yeah.
We also have a classic comic strip doodle spider character who came off the page and tried to go off on the sunset, and all three of the girls like, nope, we need you to come help. Come on, let's go. We have Speed Buggy if he was Spider-Man, so the Spider Buggy makes his return, but it's sentient.
Spider Buggy. God. Oh, Lord.
So, I mean, there's going to be hit and misses. I mean, if anything, this is going to answer where certain spider characters are because we have not seen Kane in a very long time.
I'm just waiting for Ben to show up.
Oh, yeah. No, Ben's going to show up and just laugh at everybody. It's like, I'm not helping you guys.
Yeah, that's
We're
why.
going to have to get a Ben from another universe to help him.
All right,
It's like, nah, I got stuff going on with Maddie. Don't worry about it. We'll see you in a couple months.
Or Chasm. That's going. Chasm comes back.
Well, like I said, it's Ben. It's like, I don't care.
That's true. All right. Well, thank you, Joe, for that. As we're kind of wrapping this up to a close, sir, anything that you got going on during the week?
I got to put out a new episode of the Weekly Spirit because I did get my COVID vaccine and my flu shot at once. So I was down. I only had a 3-day work week, and I worked all 3 of those days. Felt like I worked a full work week. So, that was definitely a thing. Also, I think I learned I may be allergic to aspartame.
Did you find it out the hard way, or did you just by accident?
The hard way. I bought zero sugar French vanilla coffee creamer. Stomach has not been great.
Oh.
Then on top of having the COVID booster and everything and the flu shot all at once. So I just whammied myself unknowingly.
You basically washing machine on the rough. Oh, damn.
But because of that, I got to play quite a bit of Watchdog Legions. If Watch Dogs 4 is not in Cairo, I'll be surprised because they really like talking about Cairo in this game.
It is Ubisoft. Just saying.
Also been exploring Game Pass, seeing what I can find in terms of goofy, weird games. I'm playing a RPG about dragon witches and whatnot, where the battle is vertical, kind of like the old
Dragon's Crown?
No. It's called Dragstar Variant.
Okay.
It's a JRPG, but their combat system is unique because since they're witches, they can fly, and it has 3 levels of zones of interactability. So,
okay,
dragons or enemies can be weak depending on what area you attack them from.
Gotcha.
In terms of verticality, on top of elemental weakness and whatnot. Story's pretty blasé. It's generic anime RPG BS.
Run the mill. We're together until we decide to end the fight.
You got the good witch. You got the witch that doesn't really like you, but lets you tag along for the fun of it and just see how long it's going to take you to die. Then you got the witch that really doesn't want you to be there at all.
Okay. So yeah, you're running the mill story.
Yeah, like I said, it's just generic anime BS, normal stuff. But what's kept me intrigued is the way you can power up your character. Is you actually have like a devour button where you can just one shot a character, have a chance to one shot a dragon, take its essence, and then that'll be your progression chart depending on what dragons you eat with what character.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the verticality thing. So, like, you can, like, for colossal sized characters, you can actually cut off avenues of the enemy attack depending on what body part you hack. So, if anything, the combat system has kept me intrigued, and I'm just like running on auto, and I'm going to do something while you guys talk.
Nice. Okay. But I do know that with you, I know your schedule's coming up because I know with you and the Cosplay Collective, any places you're going to be seeing next couple of weeks?
Oh, good Lord. Where were we not going to be? Tomorrow night, which I will not be at, just because it's going to take me like an hour and a half to get there, and it ends at 11 o'clock. I don't want to be driving at like 1 a.m. back home. Over at Silver Point Hollow, we will, the Tennessee Ghostbusters will be there at the Haunted Hollow. The 14th, or the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th will be at the National Symphony. The National Symphony is doing the Ghostbusters
Oh yeah, they're playing
concert where they're showing the movie and playing the orchestral music.
Yeah.
We'll be in the lobby, and I think on stage, maybe, I'm not sure. Or just in the general audience going around, checking for ghosts, looking for that Phantom of the Opera, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
We will be the 21st, which we will be passing. I don't think we're getting together for that week, right?
Well, next week is hopefully
not week after next. It's Black Adam week.
Yeah, that's Black Adam week. So
we're off that week.
Yeah, we're off.
But some of Cosplay Collective and some of Dad Bod Cosplay will be at the theater promoting in character for Black Adam. The Saturday, the 22nd, Cosplay Collective will be at the Buddy Walk, which is the Down Syndrome Walk. For that. Then the 28th, we will be at Centennial Children's Hospital, which is an event I'm organizing. That way the kids get to have a Halloween with some costumers.
Nice.
And then I'm sure we're doing something with Ghostbusters for Halloween too. I would not be surprised. It's just that we got so much going on and so many different things I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah.
But my work has asked me, he's like, can you work at all any weekends this month? No.
I was gonna say, because Halloween falls on a Monday, so
no, I am booked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, guys, for all those, if you do want to catch up with Joe and his mini streams, first off, check his YouTube page at Total Justice Gaming. Of course, his Twitch channel at Joe Italian Last Name. So definitely like, share, and subscribe. Let him know that you're watching, and of course, talk to him. He talks back. He's polite. He's friendly. He tries to get me to break every podcast, and yet he successfully does it somehow. No matter what I try to tune him out on, but that's okay. Also, shout out to my other friend of ours, Big BZA. Who also shared our podcast. You can definitely check him out. Big BZA in all socials. Everybody what's going on Facebook. He is basically everywhere, including TikTok. So definitely like, share, and subscribe as well.
Oh, no.
I might say what?
Oh no! They found a 2,000-year-old green sapphire mask at the base of a pyramid of the sun in Tijuana, Mexico.
No,
it looks exactly like the mask from the mask.
Nope. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Oh God, put it back. Also, myself, guys, you can find me on all socials at BlackBox447. I am practically everywhere. Like and follow me, guys. I usually post everything that I watch and review and play, and sometimes gym stuff because I do a couple push-ups. Also, guys, we are going to be out and about. We are going to be at the me and Joe are going to be at the, if you're in the local.
That's what's the final
area,
week of the month.
Yeah, Multi-City Music Con, which is going to be October 28th to the 30th. So we are both going to be down there. It might be a live show. We really haven't worked out the logistics of that yet, but if we are able to do it live, we'll do it live from there. But definitely check us out. If you see us, wave. You can walk up. We're friendly. We don't bite people. We're gonna be in mask anyway. So just be able to say hi, say hello, because that's exactly what we'll be doing there. Of course, the ticker that you see at the bottom, guys, let me make that just a little bit bigger for you guys to see. If you copy and paste that into your link browser, we'll take you to the link tree that's the YouTube, Facebook, and groups for all of our podcasts. How the Family Got Here, Get Bit, and the Influence Podcast. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you guys think of everything we talked about so far. About the Mario movie, about Black Panther, about the animes we're watching, and of course, things of that nature that you want us to look into or just curious about. Let us know via the YouTube or Facebook page, and we'll go into it from there. That also being said, guys, like I said, a lot of things are going on out and about. We're still in a pandemic. Please wear a mask and go into high traffic areas. Please protect yourself so you protect others, because we really, really need to be careful about that. As it gets closer to the fall holiday season, yes, there's a lot of travel. Yes, there's a lot of togetherness, but still protect yourself, because it's too easy to get sick around here. So we will definitely be back here, guys, next Friday, hopefully with our guest, Hellspawn Cosplay, as we will talk Star Trek and other things of that nature. So we will be back here, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel next Friday. With that being said, Joe, anything, sir, before we call it a night?
Oh, we will have a guest on the...
Oh, that's right. When do we have a guest?
We're going to have a guest on the 28th.
Oh, we're gonna have it. We're gonna have it on the 28th. Oh, is that the person? I forgot his name already.
Yeah, we're gonna have Tyrell Scott from Ty's House of Cards, who's a card gaming buddy of mine. We'll be talking the normal stuff, some My Hero Academia, both show and trading card game, and cover books.
Awesome, cool. Well, with that being said, guys, he's been Joe. I've been Will. I've successfully been able to do this in segment without cracking up laughing. I'm proud of myself. We're the Get Bit Podcast, guys. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will all get through this. Have a good night, guys. Peace.
Okay, bye-bye.